The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. Wednesday morning, hump day, Wednesday morning to you. Here it is, October number 11 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome aboard. Glad you are here on the Rod Eccles Show. I am, of course, your lovable host, Rod. We are coming to you live from the Bunkerize studio. Welcome to you, liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all around the globe, as well as you sometimes occasional listeners and you liberal listeners as well, and of course everybody else. Got a lot on store on tap for you this morning. Hopefully, as usual, we're not going to get to it all, but we will try to get through as much as we possibly can. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Fishers, Indiana. Today, well, it's not open yet. What is it? Indiana is an hour, but they're Central Time Zone, right? Fishers, Indiana is getting their very own IKEA store. I mean, it's trending. The hashtag is trending on Twitter. So congratulations to Fishers, Indiana for getting your very own IKEA store. Grand opening celebration today in Fishers, Indiana. Now, I like IKEA, but I know why IKEA is a big thing. It's unique, different, cute design, for furniture at a very cheap price. It's not meant to last, however. Most of it isn't. I mean, it's just not. So this is, even the stuff that's made out of solid wood, some of it's really not meant to last. It can last a long time if you take care of it, but regular use is going to, because basically what you're doing is that you're going to IKEA to be trendy. They have trendy stuff. So that's my, I really do. I have some IKEA pieces. I can tell you that I've noticed that some of them, especially if you put weighty stuff like a TV on it, it's not the fake wood stuff. It's not press board. It's solid wood. And it was constructed and put together properly, but the weight of the TV is causing it to bow. So, it's just time for a new one. So what do most people do? Well, they'll usually take this one, put it out in the curb, and somebody will come by and snatch it up and deal with it, or the garbage man will come and it'll get tossed in the trash. And what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to just go out to IKEA and buy a new one. Different style, upgrade. Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. Anyway, I like to make my own stuff. So as well, furniture. So I may build my own solid wood TV stand. Well, actually, you don't even need to do that anymore. You go on, you just hang the damn TV on the wall. You don't even need the TV stands anymore. So, I mean, I'll just end up having somebody, buying one of those overpriced TV hangers. You know how much those things cost? They are highly overpriced. But I'll just probably go out and get one and hang my flat screen TV on the wall. Have you seen the new? I think it's Samsung I think they're calling it Poster. It's called a Poster TV. It literally is. I mean, it's about as thick as a credit card, and you literally just stick it. There's no hanging involved. You just sort of like a poster, you stick it to the wall. It's kind of discombobulating at first because it looks like a window or a hole in the wall. But yeah, that's coming. Right now, I think that you can get them in various sizes for about $7,000 to $14,000 if you want to be that trendy. I can wait. But other flat screen TVs are getting thinner and thinner. They're not as thick as a credit card, that you directly stick to your wall, not just hang to it. But they are getting there, and the prices are coming down. I mean, you can get a large screen. What is a 50-inch screen TV now with 3K and 4K quality for what was the last time? I think I saw one at. Well, I know it's Walmart, but still, it's like under $500. Like a 42-inch, it's ridiculous. It's insanity. Insanely low priced. But that's what technology does for us. It gets better and better. There are certain aspects and certain items of technology that are still overpriced, overly expensive. Don't know why. Other than the fact that people are willing to pay the price, and manufacturers make a killing on profit. We can make TVs, 42-inch, 45-inch, 50-inch, for less than $500. But for some reason, we can't get. Well, I mean, I don't use razor blades that often, but you can't buy a decent razor blade, it seems, for an affordable price. I mean, literally, you got not the electric razor, but razor blades by, say, like Bic and Gillette and all the other big manufacturers. At some places and some stores, they're literally, because they're so damn expensive, they're behind locked plexiglass. You have to get assistance in order to. It's ridiculous. For razor blade. Why are razor blades, $30 for a pack? And like a pack of like 4. No wonder companies like Harry's are doing great bang up business, because they're not overcharging for a razor blade. Just in electric toothbrushes. Why is a toothbrush? You gotta buy a toothbrush like every 6 months, right? So why is a toothbrush head an electric toothbrush? Why are those things $20 and $30 a piece? The motor is what's doing the work, right? I mean, that's what you buy for. Those things are like $50 to $100, and then you got to spend like every other month or every 6 months. You're spending an extra few $100s a year on toothbrush heads. Talk about overpriced. Anyway, not what I wanted to start off the program with. Did you notice that I guess it's passed. I didn't know about this. The McDonald's Szechuan sauce thing. Now, if McDonald's knew that this was going to get this crazy, and trust me, folks, they knew it was going to get this crazy. Why did they do it the way they did it? If they knew people were not going to be able to behave themselves, and they weren't, they didn't. All over the country, I guess it was due to this I don't watch Rick and Morty, but I guess due to Rick and Morty. Well, this is such. What was the last time Szechuan sauce was in like 97, 98? It was 20 years ago. And so now they're going to bring it back for one day, and it didn't go into all restaurants, McDonald's restaurants in the USA. And the ones that did get it was a select few. They only got like 20 or 30 packets each. I mean, that's just insanity. That's just stupidity. And there were people that were going nuts and stealing the sauce, and there were fights, and this is all. I'm sorry, this is on McDonald's. They knew that these people were going to be this stupid, and yet they went ahead and did it anyway. First of all, you're probably going to have to look out, and you're probably going to see in the future McDonald's being sued over this. Somebody's probably going to sue McDonald's. Or I'm surprised nobody called 911 over not being able to get the Szechuan sauce at McDonald's. I mean, it's just stupid, ridiculous that they did this. In any case, what I wanted to talk to you about and start off the program with is historical perspective. Folks, history is important, but people don't know their history enough. As a matter of fact, I mean, and this is a natural type of thing, by the way. This is, when it comes to historical perspective, most people's perspective, naturally, history begins at their birth or at the point when they can start remembering things in their life, usually around the age of 3 to 4 years old. I mean, think about it. You probably have some very fuzzy memories of when you were 4 years old, but probably nothing before that, which is really kind of weird. But you may go someplace, though, and it might be like a fuzzy deja vu of some, and then you come to realize, or your parents might tell you, well, yeah, this is a place that you were at, or you did this when you were like 2 or 3. But you're not going to, there isn't any memory really for most people consciously. You can't seem to access things before you're like 3 or 4 years old. Which is really kind of weird for I don't know, but try remembering your birth. Just not going to happen. So most people's historical perspective actually begins somewhere around when they're 4 or 5 years old. Well, there's a whole lot of history before your life. The people, I take for instance the whole. Now I'm trying to put this in perspective, and don't try to undercut what I'm saying here, because what I'm saying is actually, what I'm about to tell you is actually factual, truthful, historical, and accurate. However, what some people know is also it's correct, but it's not accurate. The war on terror, Afghanistan, we've been there for 16 years now. Now, we call it the war on terror. And there are a lot of people, especially on the left, that think, well, this is 16 years, it's only getting worse, and it's never, we've had thousands of people die, and it's just bad, 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 bad. Yes, the war on terror, and specifically in Afghanistan, has been going on for 16 years. But has it? No, let's put it in perspective. It's been going on longer than 16 years. It's been, first of all, the Russians were at it before we went at it. Back in the 80s and 90s. Now the reality is that this is a war that's 16, 17, 18 centuries long. We're talking 1,600 years, folks. 1,700 years. Since Muhammad himself basically declared war on non-Islamists. He invented Islam, declared war on non-Islamists. We've had nothing but, look, even during our founding years, with some of our founders as president, like Thomas Jefferson, having to deal with the Moors, who are Islamic. The Spanish subcontinent, the Spanish peninsula, having to deal with being conquered by Moors and Islam for 600 or 700 years. We've been dealing with this for a very, very long time. You can call if you want to call it a war, then that's what it is. You won't be wrong by saying this is a war, It's not East versus West. It's Islam versus everybody. That's what the war is. And what you have going on in Afghanistan is simply just another battle in that war. It's called historical perspective. And the problem is that when you don't have a decent understanding of history and knowledge and a good perspective, you get things wrong.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
By the way, one of the, we'll get into the holidays later into the program, but one of the holidays of today, putting this into perspective, is today is, evidently today is National Coming Out Day. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, this is a day that is celebrated for, and is a time, when people who are in the gay closet can come out. Now, the problem with that is that would assume that most people in today really care if you're gay or straight or bi. Most people don't care. We don't. Not even those of us in the not even the fundamental Christian. They really don't care anymore. And it's not to say that that they'll accept your chosen lifestyle. It's simply that we don't really care. What you do in your own bedroom, pretty much as long as it doesn't harm another person or another animal, is okay. As long as everybody is consenting, it's okay. We don't need to know about it. We don't. Why is it that people have to feel the need to, if they're odd? If they're beyond or above or below or just not the norm, why is it necessary to tell everybody that you're not in the norm? It's not necessary. It really, all it does is call attention to yourself for no reason. Well, there's still hate. Well, there's hate for everything. I mean, there are people that love Szechuan sauce, and there are people that hate Szechuan sauce, and there are probably people out there that hate. There are people out there that hate people who love Szechuan sauce. I mean, who cares? There's always going to be differences out there. No, it's not normal to do what these people do for a stupid, artificially flavored dipping sauce for McNuggets, but hey, to each their own, right? Does anybody else, other than the fact that, if you want to go out there and stand in line, knowing that they only got 20 packets, but you're standing in line and you're number 200 in the line, you're not getting a package, a Szechuan sauce. But everybody driving by, we just look at you and say, well, you're crazy, but do we really care? No, we don't. So why is it necessary to start throwing in our face that somebody else? I love it when somebody famous decides to admit and come out of the closet. That usually they come out of the closet today, not because they want to, but because they're being threatened to be outed by somebody else that's ridiculous too. It's none of your business. It's not my business. It's not your business. The person wants to keep what they do in their bedroom private, then they should be able to have the right to do that. But if they want to tell you about, I don't want to hear about it. I could care less if, Barney Stinson, Doogie Howser, Neil Patrick Harris was. You could kind of figure it out, but I could have cared less. Everybody made all the community made such a big deal. Yeah, he's playing for our team. Who cares? The only thing it did, I guess one thing it did is it increased his his credibility as an actor, because he played this ultra straight womanizing guy on a TV show for how many years? But who cares? He's not out there promoting it. At least I haven't seen him out there promoting it. He's not. So here's a guy that just wanted to keep it between him and the people that his family. That was it. Now, everybody else had to make a big deal out of it. He didn't. So why are we still making a big deal? This is how things go awry. This is how things go bad. This is how racism or bigotry gets promoted, because you on the other side think you're doing so good that you're trying to overly promote something that nobody else really cares about. And then finally, the average person gets so sick and tired of you throwing it in their face that they retaliate somehow. And then, of course, the first thing you do is you point your finger and say, bigot, racist. Well, they really didn't care before, but they just get sick and tired of you throwing it in their face. Besides, for a good number of people, who's gay and who's not. We don't even need that stupid AI, artificial intelligence program to figure that out. We really don't. But they're not walking around, throwing it in everybody's face. We're queer and we're here to stay. We're in your face. Get out of my face with that crap. I don't need to know. Do you think it's better that I know? I mean, I love it when they prance around and they say, well, we're here. Okay, good. I'm here too. And your point? It's not necessary. This whole perspective. Shall we put it in perspective? These people have no perspective on what's going on around them. They think that everything is. This is because we have a self-centered culture, not just in the United States, but it's become a self-centered culture where everybody thinks that everything revolves around them. This is why YouTube and Instagram and Snap and Snapchat are so big, because everybody's going to be interested in what I'm doing. So I'm going to take a picture or video of everything that I do every single day, because everybody's going to watch. And for the most part, nobody really cares. But a lot of people just can't seem to understand that they're not the center of everybody else's universe. In any case, so we don't need Black Pride parades. We don't need gay pride parades. We don't need Black History Month or Gay Pride Month. Or by the way, why isn't Coming Out Day and Gay Pride Month? You would think that would be the time to do it. Not in October. Everybody's paying attention to Columbus and Halloween at this particular point. Do you really think that they care? Perspective, I guess.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals, because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
Did you hear about what is happening up there or over there in, well, for most of us, I guess it would be up there. Some of us would be over there in Detroit. Detroit, Michigan, the Motor City. Yeah, this came to my attention yesterday. I cannot believe the hysterics and the political correctness that is. It comes, well, first of all, if you're a Democrat, shame on you. Shame on you for thinking that a fruit, it's a berry actually, I think, but a fruit is a connotation for racism. A Detroit firefighter was fired for bringing watermelon to his fire station. Yeah, there's a tradition. He's a rookie fireman. Now, he's an old rookie, by the way. I mean, earlier, this is out of Detroit, Michigan. Earlier this month, at the beginning of this month, October, a 41-year-old Robert Pattison, Pattison, not Robert Pattinson, the actor, but Robert Pattison, the 41-year-old firefighter, went to introduce himself to his fellow firefighters at engine number 55 at a Joy and Southfield in Detroit. That's Joy and Southfield streets in Detroit. 2nd Battalion Chief Sean McCarthy calls it a tradition for firefighters. He says it's not mandatory, it's voluntary. You come in bearing gifts. Now, the usual gift from the new firefighter to all the older firefighters there is donuts, but you are allowed to bring whatever you want to bring in. I thought donuts were for cops, so why don't cops have this tradition? Anyway, now Pattison evidently is a probationary firefighter, meaning he's a rookie. Decided to bring a watermelon wrapped in a pink ribbon. He brought a watermelon wrapped in a pink ribbon. We're told some African American firefighters were instantly offended, since 90% of the people who work at Engine 55 are black, and the new firefighter, Robert Pattison, is white. Now, there is another story that goes along with this, and I can't believe the title, but here's the title. It's over a watermelon. The firefighter gets fired for bringing this watermelon with it's wrapped in a pink bow. Well, I mean, was that a slam? People are saying, well, it was a slam against, it was a racist thing against black firefighters. Well, he had a pink bow on it. Was that a slam against homosexuals? Any homosexual firefighters in the station? I don't know. They didn't say. What? Does it matter? No, not really. But, he put a pink bow on it, so maybe he got fired for that. But no, he got fired because he was white and he brought in a water. What if a black firefighter brought in a watermelon to a station that was 90% black? Well, that was a question that was posed by black Detroit firefighters who stand by the recruit who was fired over the watermelon. So simply because the guy's white, it's a racist gesture, but if he were black or Latino, it would not be racist? It's a freaking watermelon. Everybody loves it. I don't think I've met a single person, I don't care what their skin color is, that doesn't like watermelon. Now, for most people, there is no racial connotation. Now, I live in the greater Concord, New Hampshire area. Now, New Hampshire is a pretty white state, but you know what? Every summer they get lots and lots of watermelon. And I have yet to have somebody bring me one as a gift. Now, I don't, maybe they're scared to. They shouldn't be. I happen to like it. Now I've been to events and parties where they, especially during the, holiday parties, people will bring a watermelon, and sometimes, if it's a holiday party, they'll toss some vodka or rum in the watermelon. Is that supposed to be racist against, Latinos? Should my Latino friends be upset because they threw in vodka or rum? By the way, that's dangerously delicious. Vodka infused watermelon is dangerously delicious. Don't do that, really. You got to be responsible. Well, the whole thing is drink responsibly. But I've never seen an alcoholic commercial that says eat responsibly, because that's what you do with a watermelon. You eat it. How far can we go with this? I'm surprised that the Black Lives Matter hasn't been out there, protesting in the streets because this white probationary firefighter who got fired for bringing watermelons. If anybody should probably sue, probationary period, you can be fired for with or without cause for any reason. But over a watermelon, seriously. So the whole point is that they're saying that it's racially insensitive to bring a watermelon into a firehouse. So I guess it's racially insensitive for grocery stores to even have watermelons for sale. I guess it's racially insensitive for white farmers to even grow watermelon. Let's put it in perspective. If we're going to say that it's racially insensitive to bring a watermelon to a fire station, then from a white guy, if a white guy brings a watermelon to a station that's filled with mostly black firefighters, if that's racially insensitive, then is it not racially insensitive for a white farmer to even grow the damn watermelon and send it to a grocery store that's in a city? That is, at a grocery store that is mostly, where the customers are mostly black. If we're going to be this stupid about it, let's go all the way. I think it's racist then for a white farmer to grow watermelons and then send that watermelon to a grocery store whose most of their customers are black. This is the same damn thing. Well, Rod, no, that's different. Well, why is it different? It's a white guy, white farmer. He knows where his watermelons are going. He knows. He's the one selling them to the grocery store, so he knows where they're going. Because I know that's the first thing you're going to say. Well, the white firefighter knew that the fire station was mostly black. Well, I don't know if he knew if it was mostly black or not. Is it assumed because it's a Detroit fire station in Detroit, which is a city that is, in some neighborhoods are mostly black neighborhoods? Not all neighborhoods in Detroit are mostly black. Some are. But was he supposed to know this ahead of time? Isn't that a little bit presumptuous or racist yourself? But let's just say he knew. He was trying to be friendly and open and ingratiating himself to his fellow firefighters, and he thought he'd be a little different from a donut. But if he's going to be construed as being racially insensitive and possibly racist for bringing a watermelon to a predominantly black fire station, then is it not racially insensitive and racist for a white farmer to grow and sell his watermelons to a predominantly black grocery store? It's the same damn thing. Except now, the firefighter was giving the watermelon away. The problem with the grocery store is that the racist white farmer expects blacks to pay him for his racism now by buying the damn watermelon. Come on, folks. This is ridiculous. Speaking of Detroit, by the way, Metro Airport bathroom discovered that it had its soap tampered with. A foreign substance was found in some of the bathrooms in some of the bathroom soap dispensers last week, sparking an investigation. See this. Remember when I mentioned this about it? Well, it wasn't even a year ago. 9 months ago or so, when I was leaving McAllen, Texas, after giving a keynote speech at an event down there, and I was going through the McAllen, Texas airport, and they said, "Well, you've popped positive for something." I said, "Well, I just used your damn bathroom and washed my hands, so it's in your soap." "No, it's not in the soap. We got to go through this whole procedure now. Pat down and check your shoes and your belt and go through your bag and all your personal..." What? Over soap? Well, here's the story. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, when I was leaving McAllen, Texas, the McAllen airport, before I go through the checkpoint, the TSA checkpoint, I went to the bathroom. Now, I know from now on you go to the bathroom after you go through the TSA checkpoint, but I go to the bathroom. As I usually do, I wash my hands with soap and water before leaving. So if there was any sort of residue on my hands whatsoever, it would have been washed off by the soap. So the residue, whatever, come to find out that the ingredient that probably ticked off or popped the test results, whatever they were calling it, is a common ingredient used in lotions and soaps. And that they had it in their own damn airport. Or maybe somebody just put it in there. I don't know. Maybe they tampered with it. Because here it is. Public Safety Department in Detroit is investigating an unusual substance found in a few of the soap dispensers during the last week. The airport authority takes incidents involving health and safety very seriously. So, what did they tell you what was in the soap? We're in the process of installing new tamper-proof soap dispensers and are more frequently monitoring our restrooms, they said. So, somebody, is this before or after the TSA checkpoint? How do you? Well, I'm asking because it's simply how do you bring in a substance that's possibly illegal? What was the substance that they're? I'm just saying, folks. They are looking for any possible excuse to upgrade their invasive. I know there are some people out there that think, well, you don't have to fly. I understand that, but we don't check our constitutional rights at the airport door, because if they can do it there and get away with it, they can do it anywhere. And indeed, they're talking about bringing these same types of checkpoints to bus stations and to train stations and to commuter rail stations and to get into a stadium, football, baseball, soccer. They're honestly talking about this kind of stuff. Expanding this type of you don't lose your constitutional rights because you want to fly. Especially when this stuff doesn't prevent and has not prevented anything. Especially when the more dangerous stuff, and test after test with the TSA, has proven that they've missed stuff. They've missed guns and knives. But they sure as hell caught me for washing my hands at the airport bathroom. And this is just perspective again, right? I love it when people say, well, I feel safer when they test people like this. Really? You feel safer? That's what counts, is your feelings? Well, yeah, because everything's, every individual, it's all about them So if you feel safer, it doesn't screw the fact that you're not really safer, but you just feel it. So, you can fly more comfortably. You don't have to worry about anything. Well, I am sure all those people on September 11, 2001 felt safe and they didn't have to worry about anything. Seriously. This is just another... If the soap got tampered with. You can't make this stuff up.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
There's a lot more to keep in perspective. We'll get into well, we got some stuff here from the NFL. Got some updated stuff here on the Vegas mass shooting with Paddock. Got some stuff here with Weinstein. It's just a busy day. Plus, at the top of the hour, after the top of the hour break, we have the Intel report. With Agent 0010. Just a busy morning here. It's so busy, as a matter in fact, that we have, did you know that California is getting, well, we won't get it. That's part of the NFL. We'll get into that a little. You remember when I've told you, now if you listen to this program, you know about that I'm into, tech. I like tech. I like gadgets, toys, futuristic stuff. And that the, United Arab Emirates, especially Abu Dhabi, Dubai, those places, they're trying to be the most advanced city. In other words, if you're thinking about places or movies like, the upcoming, it did come out already, Blade Runner. Well, you have all those futuristic cities in these science fiction movies, right? Well, that's what Dubai and places in the EAU want to be. Well, a hoverbike riding police to patrol the streets of Dubai from 16 feet above the ground. The hoverbikes are being manufactured by the Russians, not the Americans, and can double up as unmanned drone platforms as well. They can be drones. Well, you can ride there. Have you seen the videos with the hover bike? There's a YouTube video of an American company. I don't know why we don't have more. They're cool as hell. Well, the cops in Dubai are going to be getting these things. They're going to be using them by 2020. That's less than 2 years from now, basically. In 2020, you're going to have it. Can you say Judge Dredd? I mean, think about that for a second. The Sylvester Stallone movie, Judge Dredd. Remember that one? How long ago was that? Judge Dredd. They had hover bikes, basically flying motorcycles. I think they had flying cars too, but flying motorcycles. Well, now they're going to have these in Dubai. They're going to be flying motorcycles. I think it's cool. I'd want one. Get me one. But it's a flying vehicle. It could fly up to 16 to 20 feet in the air. Now I don't know if I'd do that. But closer to the ground, you don't need wheels. These things they're pretty cool. And of course, this goes with the fact that by 2025 and 2030, they want to have drone police officers and flying drone taxis as well in Dubai. Yeah, this is the future. If you want to see the future of world cities, it's not New York, it's not Hong Kong, it's not Tokyo, London, Paris, not LA, none of the old world stuff. And let's face it, by now, places like New York City and LA, Chicago, they're old world types of cities. No. The new cities, the future cities, are places like Abu Dhabi and Dubai. I mean, these cities are pretty much less than 20 years old. So that's that's going to be some fun over there. Gotta give them some cred for being this forward thinking. But flying police motorcycles, for sure, those are going to be. If they ever put those on sale, I'm going to make sure I'm standing in line. I'm not going to stand in line for Szechuan sauce at a McDonald's, but I'd stand in line. And I'm not going to stand in line for an IKEA grand opening. But yes, I would stand in line to be able to buy a flying motorcycle. Wouldn't you? Intel report coming up next.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day,
The men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back. Here we are on this Hump Day, Wednesday, October number 11 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome back to all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. I am, of course, your lovable host, Elrod, coming to you live from the Bunker Eyes studio. Sitting firmly ensconced in the Freedom Throne behind the Freedom microphone. No, it's not a golden mic. I could paint it gold if people want me to have a golden mic. I'm not going to dip it in gold or anything like that, but it's kind of expensive to have a golden microphone. Perspective again. Taking a jab at you-know-who for having a golden microphone. But you know what? Hey, if he wants a golden mic, he can have a golden mic. So, who was the king, the emperor? Oh, Midas. Yeah, that was the Midas touch. That was a song. That was a hit song back in the day too. Got the Midas touch. Bing. Who did that song? It was like 80 something, right? Yeah, we used to play it a lot when we went roller skating. I think it was in the 80s that was a hit. But yes, it's one of the roller skating favorite song back in the 80s and early 90s. Going back in time there. We've got some stuff here on Paddock. Did you hear about some of this stuff? This new stuff that's coming out? It actually kind of falls into line with what we're going to be going over with today on the Intel report.
The infamous New York Times.
How we got
came out with an article.
Whoops, hold on. Got the wrong thing there. Where is it? Yep, there we go. Gotta love technology. Let's bring aboard Agent 0010. Good morning, Agent. How are you?
Good morning, Rod. How you doing?
I am blessed and highly favored, even though my technology is not working like I want it to work, and that happens all the time. Because hey, you know, like the good old war against Islam that's been going on for centuries now. I still have a war with technology, and I often lose a bunch of battles. But you know, we lost. I saw some of these statistics for the Revolutionary War. You know, George Washington lost 95% of the battles during the Revolutionary War, but the battles that actually counted, like the last one, that had caused him to win the war. You can lose. I'm taking that into into consideration. That is my mantra. I can lose 95% of the battles, but I'm still going to win this war against technology at some point, someday. Whenever.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Well, today, we discussed this before. I thought we'd go back in time a little bit to try to update people on a couple of stories, as well as to prove our accuracy. And now I have done some calculations on this, and I'm not a statistician, but I've done some calculations. And what I've come up with so far is that we might as well just be 100%, but we are greater than 97% correct in the Intel report. And that's do you know how little that what you have reported has been off when you're only talking 3%? And we've been doing this since March or April. I mean, that is just a fantastic accuracy rate.
You know what? Call it ego, call it whatever you want. I don't care what the people call it. But what I call it is truth. And the truth is never changing. The truth is always the same because facts are subject to change. Fact. The Super Bowl winners are such and such a team. It's subject to change because guess what? There's going to be a new Super Bowl and that fact will then change. Now, the truth is eternal. And to me, I don't like giving bad information. I don't like giving bum information. I don't want people going out and said, well, C.S. Walker said this, and the other thing. Well, if they're going to say that, I want them not to look foolish, and I don't want to be the cause of somebody looking foolish. So I want everything to be spot on. So I'm sorry to tell you this. I mean, to me, 97% is still missing the target, because 3% can still cost a lot of lives in the world I come from.
Yeah, that is accurate.
So being 3% wrong, you may as well be 100% wrong. So I guess I just got to buckle down and
well, it mostly comes down to predictory. Is that a word? Predictory? Predictory statements. What is going to happen in the future? And so, well, I guess you can't say that you're wrong yet. Because they haven't happened yet, there have been some things that have gone a different way. But I know one of the things that didn't go a different way was all of this email hacking, and now we're getting more and more stuff coming out as far as the DNC goes, and they're still trying to pin this Russian Trump collusion thing on Trump, and everything. Just like Trump said that the tower, he was wiretapped. Well, it comes out that we now know definitely, it's beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was wiretapped, and we also know that we now know that Ukrainians were involved in this. But you mentioned this back in April of this year on the 12th, on the April 12th report. In fact, I took a little clip here. Let's listen to it.
Okay. The infamous New York Times came out with an article stating, look, we found the guy. We found the guy. This is Trump's hacker. This is the guy that hacked the DNC. Well, first of all, how do you know when the DNC denied access to the FBI for investigating their server to see if and how they were hacked? So, therefore, how do you know? But the New York Times keeps sticking with, we found his hacker. He was arrested by the FBI in Spain. Well, first of all, he wasn't arrested by the FBI. He was arrested by the Spanish police in Barcelona. And here, the guy's name is Piotr Lavashov. Okay? And he also goes by the name of Severa. Now, this guy is a computer programmer. He is a programmer. And he has worked with American programmers. Here's the catch. The guy creates spam programs. That's what he does. Now, many people would say, well, there's the proof right there because Podesta's emails were hacked by a spam. Well, first of all, Podesta is an idiot. When you have such an easy password, you deserve to either get hacked or smacked, one or the other.
So now we have what we have coming up over the past couple of weeks is more information not only about this guy, but other people possibly involved in the so-called quote-unquote hacking. In that a lot of this stuff was, a lot of this information was actually being transferred to whom? Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And there are a couple of, shall we say, couple of guys of Middle Eastern descent that are also now involved in this. And none of those people, as you have stated before, have anything to do with the Republicans or Donald Trump. So do you have any updates on what's going on with this stuff?
Right now, everybody's backing away from the entire Russian conspiracy. They're slowly but surely backing away. Notice it hasn't blown up on the news. CNN isn't persecuting this, well, it's more like prosecuting this on the air. There are those that keep trying, because they're still hanging in there because they think that's their bread and butter, such as, Rachel Maddow. I mean, now she's getting her butt kicked by Tucker and Hannity on Fox, and she's just trying real hard to build up that audience. But the biggest thing right now is that there is no connection that I can see between the Awan brothers and the DNC hack. Why do I say that? Because if there were, the entire DNC would have been paying them huge amounts of money because somebody else would have been involved in this, and that person's name is Donna Brazile. Let's not forget, she was Debbie Wasserman Schultz's backup the entire time. And Donna Brazile would have been heavily involved in this if the Awan brothers were actually trying to blackmail the DNC. As far as the information that they did have, they were probably passing that on to other sources, or they were holding it for a rainy day. I have to, because right now the waters are starting to become muddied because there are just too many people jumping on the bandwagon, saying this, yeah, and it's like, can y'all just shut up for a minute and stop muddying the waters? Research before you speak. Or in this case, type. So I have to basically filter out so much crap so I can actually give everybody a concise or precise information. But my question is, we keep hearing Awan brothers and Wasserman Schultz. Why aren't I hearing Donna Brazile's name? Because let's not forget, she was there in the DNC, heavily involved in the DNC. And why is her name not involved? And I need to find this out.
Well, are we gonna see a possible Donna Brazile perp walk in the future? Well, if we do, you heard it here first. Now, the second story here has to do with Paddock. Now, back in May, we talked about ISIS sleeper cells, and you also. Well, let me just see if I can. I'll just play the clip here.
Yeah, go ahead, because I got an update on you to prove my point about age.
Oh, come on. It's not going to play now. Okay, well, all right. Basically, back in May, what you discussed and what you said is that ISIS we all know that ISIS has sleeper cells in this country. But what you discussed is you said that for a fact that ISIS has sleeper cells with people that populate these cells that are not who we think that they should be. In other words, that they're other than, teenage 20-something-year-old Middle Eastern descent people here, but that there were going to be some middle-aged American-born men and women that get radicalized and start doing certain things to take the pressure off of the Middle Eastern people. And then lo and behold, not 6 months later, do we get this guy, Paddock, in Vegas, whom ISIS quickly jumps on the bandwagon and says he's our guy. We radicalized him a few months ago. And you have all these crazy weird people like his brother that can't, it's just too weird. Nothing about this case makes any sense unless you got the FBI jumping on, less than 24 hours after the shooting. No, he's not part of ISIS, but ISIS says that he is a part of ISIS. And now we've got some information that ISIS might be right. And you also told us before that ISIS rarely says something takes a claim on something when they're not involved in it. So why would they do this one? I mean, this is why is it so hard to believe that there might be some older people who get radicalized like Stephen Paddock?
Between socialism and radical, I want to stress the word radical Islam, there are very few differences. The biggest difference really is the ideology or the cause of each one. Socialism, for the most part, is very much atheist, or they just don't believe in God or a higher power, and Muslims do. But if you take a look at, how they deal things, control the media, control the food, control the water, control everything. Well, they're really not that dissimilar, to be honest with you. They really, really aren't. They're both driven or motivated by different ideologies, but what they do is basically the same. And usually, as has been proven in history and currently, like in Venezuela, you use fear to implement these things. You use fear as a weapon and a tool simultaneously. And their radical Islam is doing the same thing. Now, a lot of the socialists today in this country are young people because they want free this, free that, free the other thing. But then you have the older socialists that do exist, because let's not forget, Barack Obama's grandparents were very much socialist until the day they died. And there are currently many socialists today. So what is the big leap from socialism to Islam? Well, okay, yeah, you have to believe in God or a higher power. But what if you are a socialist and do believe in Islam, or you just plain out believe in Islam? Last week, currently, get ready for this. Last week, there was a man who planted a bomb in a North Carolina airport. Okay? And it was a mason jar full of explosives and nails. Okay? So we know what that's going to do. Well, his name is Michael Christopher Estes. Now, Mr. Estes, when he was arrested, he was brought in for questioning. His words: he wanted to bring a war to American soil. Now, some people may be listening to me and saying, well, you know what, your comparison between socialism and Islam, or radical Islam, I'm sorry, is far-fetched. Okay, well, same people also told me, well, there is an age difference. Well, here's the thing. Mr. Estes, I'm looking at his picture right now. This guy looks like he's in his late 40s to early 50s or mid 50s. That's not that young. It's not old, but it's not young either. It's not a 20-something. It's not a teenager. This is a full-grown ass man, who should know better, but he doesn't. He wants to fight a war on U.S. soil. Who does that remind you of?
Exactly. So these people are, well, they're getting into our society and our system via older people. When I say older, they're not in their, they're not teens or 20s. And these people are, we're not looking out for them really. Well, I mean, if you go to the airport and you're a grandma, or, in your 70s or 80s, or if you're a 60 or 70-year-old nun, you'll probably get, checked over twice or thrice. But other than that, it seems like we give these kinds of people a pass. But you were telling us back in May that we shouldn't be giving these kinds of people a pass, that we should be careful and watch out for this type of thing. And lo and behold, here we start October, and what you said comes to fruition. This is uncanny. How accurate this is.
I'm looking at the guy's picture right now, and I can promise you right now that the age difference between, Mr. Estes and Paddock is no more than 10 years. No more than 10 years difference. Now, when you get to be our age, that's really nothing. You're drinking buddies. You're hanging out with each other. But, there's a vast difference between a 10-year-old and a 20-year-old. There's still a 10-year difference, but huge difference as far as mentality and, social circles is concerned. But between these two guys, these guys can be drinking buddies. They could be playing poker together.
Yeah, between a 50 and a 60-year-old, there isn't much difference at all. And that's still a decade, but there isn't much difference between those two ages versus what you just said, 10 to 20. Huge difference there. I don't. So all I can say is that I've got more. We're going to do this again. We're going to do this at the end of the year in December. We're going to go back and try to maybe do an hour or a couple of hours of the show, or maybe even a whole show about going over what has transpired over the entire year that we've been doing this so far, almost at that particular point in time, and really dig into all of this stuff. But the accuracy right now has just been uncanny, and I really want to thank you for all of your hard work and getting things right. And people should understand this.
Well, I got to bring it up to 100% because, like I said, I don't like people being misinformed. Misinformation costs lives, and people get hurt. So I got to be better.
Well, I'm sure you will, but remember, not even I can be 100% accurate. So, and I'm the closest thing. I'm the closest thing to human perfection that there ever was.
You're a legend in your own mind.
Keep in mind, Jesus Christ was not a full human, so I'm not comparing myself to God in any case, just other humans. But anyway, thank you so much for all your hard work and your great information, my friend. It is always a pleasure.
Not a problem. And you and all your listeners have a great day.
Stay safe out there, will you? All right, bye-bye. We'll be back, folks.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey.
Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late. We stay informed. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together
and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Call Rod now, 666-603-835-3226. Now, continuing, I want to thank Agent 0010 once again for all his hard work and his research. Look, this stuff takes hours and hours. I mean, preparing the show every day is not a 5-minute happenstance. This doesn't happen by the seat of my pants. This is all prepared, as well as his reports are, and they're very well researched. And speaking of well researched, what we don't seem to be getting is a lot of well-researched stuff on the Vegas mass shooter. We're getting all this speculation. This is news. This is what's passing for news. Nobody seems to be digging. I've got a question. Why isn't anybody else asking this question? Maybe they have, they're just not reporting, not getting the answers. But my main question is, this is Las Vegas, is it not? Now, what is Las Vegas known for? Las Vegas is known for what? It's casinos. And most of the casinos in Vegas are inside these large hotels, are they not? So what do they do? What is the biggest concern for a hotel casino in Las Vegas? Security. So don't they have like security cameras just about everywhere in a public space? They do. They have security cameras just about everywhere in public spaces in a casino hotel in Vegas. This is not, look, I've never been there. I've never been to Vegas, but we know that they have cameras you go into the casino, especially in their cameras, and this guy was a gambler. And yet there's no evidence, there's no video evidence of this guy anywhere. Where are the video where is the video footage? People are saying, well, it doesn't exist. I call bullshit on that because there are cameras everywhere. They're recording 24/7. They don't tape over this stuff, especially when they have, the day of. Where are all the cameras? Where's all the tape footage, of the days leading up to this and the day of? I mean, maybe they just don't want to show us. But I'm thinking, well, if they're not even talking about video security footage, they're even talking about it. I haven't seen it anywhere. Nobody's talking about it. Where is it? I don't. I mean, we've heard about the cameras that Paddock had set up. He had a camera or two inside the hotel room. He had a couple of cameras out in the hallway. I guess one was even attached or on a food cart. But we know about his cameras. What about the hotel cameras? And what was, evidently they didn't record anywhere. His cameras didn't record. They couldn't find any recordings from what I understand. So was he streaming it? And where was he streaming it to? That might be a little bit more difficult to find out, actually. But the whole idea is, why would you have these, I don't know, what do you have, three or four cameras set up or more? Can't seem to get an accurate number. But he wasn't recording, so that means he was streaming. You don't set this stuff up not to record. So it means you had to be streaming it somewhere. And we already have the Vegas County Sheriff is already saying, well, maybe there's more than one person. If you have a law enforcement officer who's that high up, he's a chief, basically he's a chief. He's a police chief, but he's a sheriff. He's speculating, and he doesn't seem to be a guy that just throws stuff out there from what I understand about him. But if he was speculating and putting out there speculating that possibly there's maybe more than one person involved, and if you look around and you think about all the things that went down and how, what he had, it would take some planning on more than one person's part. Not saying that one person couldn't pull this off, but we're talking Paddock here. By the way, there's another story here. Las Vegas massacre gunman. They did an autopsy on his brain. I'm guessing they sliced up his brain to see if he had CTE, the football thing that Aaron Hernandez supposedly had, which explains all his violent behavior. Well, this guy didn't have it. He had a normal brain. No CTE or any other, because we're all thinking, well, this guy must have been crazy. He could have been, he had cancer or something and he was dying or he had too many, he was somehow out of his mind. Well, according to an autopsy, there was nothing medically wrong with this guy. Nothing medically wrong with his body, nothing medically wrong with his brain. Well, I mean, because, hey, you're going to have the Democrats are running around talking about, well, we got to keep keep guns out of the hands of crazy people. Well, Stephen Paddock obviously was not a crazy person. They can't find anything medically wrong with him. So he was medically normal. Whatever normal is, that was Stephen Paddock. Interesting. So now it comes to everybody's trying to figure out, well, what's his motive? Why did he do it? Why did he do? It's amazing how we find that the motive is pointing in one direction, but they refuse to go that direction, and they keep saying, well, we don't know why he did it. We don't have a clue to for his reasoning or his motive. Yeah, we have somebody out there telling us that, well, he was one of us. ISIS is saying it. Nobody else seems to be claiming this guy, except for ISIS. And we know for a fact because, not only did Agent 0010 tell us, but the FBI has told us, other government agents have told us, that ISIS and Al-Qaeda don't often get it wrong or lie about when they lie about incidents that they take credit for. They're pretty. If one thing that they're pretty honest about, it's about taking credit for incidents, because ISIS hasn't taken credit for everything. Every terror act, they haven't taken credit for every terror act. So that's got to tell you something. We have government officials and others telling us, well, they don't often lie about that. They don't get that wrong. If ISIS tells you that they're responsible or their agents are responsible for this, you can probably take that to heart and think that they're being absolutely truthful with you. And the same with other terrorist cells. If they take responsibility, notice how they often, most of the time, they don't contradict one another. In other words, Boko Haram doesn't step on ISIS. ISIS says, well, we're responsible for this. Boko Haram doesn't often come in and say, no, we're responsible. Notice how these terror groups don't normally step on each other's toes. Is that another interesting thing? And sometimes they'll say, well, yeah, we acted in collusion. There have been incidents where Al-Qaeda and ISIS, and there are two different groups, by the way, where Al-Qaeda and ISIS have jointly taken credit for some stuff, mostly out there in the Middle East. But so they work together, but they rarely step on each other's toes in taking credit for something that they didn't do. At least that's what I found. I haven't seen a lot of that. And so we have ISIS who's taking credit for, yeah, we radicalized this guy. We find out that there was nothing medically wrong with his body or brain, because that was the first thing. Well, what is this guy? Is he crazy? Something medical wrong with him? All that's been thrown out the window now. He's normal body, normal brain. After an autopsy, couldn't find anything. So why did he kill 58 people? By the way, you have to go offshore to get the accurate number. I have told you this. The London and French newspapers and media out there is saying 58. We're the only idiots still saying 59. He murdered 58 people, not 59. The 59th person was himself. You don't include the attacker. I don't know when we started doing this. Well, we started doing it when the liberal media in this country had an agenda to make things worse than they actually were. So 58 doesn't sound nearly as terrible as 59, because after all, 59 is almost 60. We were a heartbeat away, literally a heartbeat away from having 60. And 60 just, it's like 49. We were told it was 50 people. Well, it was 48. But 49 is almost 50 if we get to include the gunman himself. 49 people died. No, 48 people died in Orlando. 59 people didn't die by this gunman's hand in Vegas. It was 58. The accuracy is important here, folks. We have foreign outlets that are getting it accurate, giving us an accurate count when our own media can't seem to do that. They tell us 49 to make it sound like, well, it was almost 50, literally a heartbeat away from 50. Only one more heartbeat had to... No, it would take 2. That's a big difference from 1. Yeah, they can still run around and say it was almost 50, and they can still run around and say it was almost 60. But the reality is, it was only 58. And I know that sounds kind of heartless to say only 58, because that's 58 people too many. Yes. But perspective, again, in this matter is knowing what our media's agenda is. And their agenda is nothing good, folks, because they've been trying to pin this on crazy people, the NRA, and guns. And as we find out, as we get more and more into this, doesn't have anything to do with the NRA. NRA didn't pull the trigger. He obviously wasn't crazy or suffering any medical condition whatsoever. And you have a group that the left doesn't like to blame for anything when it happens in this country. You have a group of terrorists that are taking claim and responsibility for this. So that's 3 strikes on the left. Unbelievable. By the way, did you know that they've put out a travel advisory on the girlfriend? Yes, the girlfriend now has she's on a travel advice. Now I don't know exactly what that means. She can't fly certain places, maybe, but there's a travel advisory out on his girlfriend and his brother. Yes, I've got the story right here. Yeah, travel advisory has been issued for the girlfriend of Vegas mass shooter Stephen Paddock and his brother. And we're also finding out that, I said there was something wrong with the brother. Did I not tell you there was something odd and off about the brother? Well, evidently, even the sheriff of Las Vegas says that there's something odd about the brother, and he wants to be able to talk to him. There's something really odd about it. Again, I hate being right about this kind of stuff, folks, but it's necessary. Also, I've also said, well, how does this guy, get away with doing whatever he got away with? Yeah, granted, it's a large hotel, and you could slowly over a few days bring in drips and drabs and stuff, and nobody's going to notice. But evidently, there is a story here that he actually rented the hotel not on September 28th, but on September 25th, giving him 3 extra days to bring in all that stuff. Now it's really starting to make some sense. And if you go back even further to the 25th, that means he was really planning ahead. Was he not? And evidently he actually shot and hit a hotel security guard 6 minutes before he opened fire on the crowd below. So the question is why again did it take so long for the police to respond and catch this guy? I'm not going to blame the cops on this, but there is something, the timeline is not adding up anymore, folks. Now, by the way, for you people who think that there was more than one gunman in more than one location, it's called echo dynamics, sound dynamics. And what you heard, everybody's saying, well, there was more than one gunshot. No, there was not more than one shoot. At least there wasn't more than one shooter in more than one location. Again, you have all these buildings. It was just like a canyon. It's just an echo. And that's what you heard. It was because every time you heard a gunshot, you could time it and hear the echo of another gunshot. Well, that's not another gunman. That's an echo. And just the time dynamics of it is easily proven that it wasn't more than one location. But it does make it sound like it's coming from more than one location, which confused a lot of people, which is why you saw the crowd run in one direction, and all of a sudden they would go and run in another direction because they thought the sound was coming from someplace else. So that makes sense. Not that there was more than one shooter in more than one location, but the echoing effect, as loud as it was in the panic, confused the hell out of everybody on the ground, which made it harder to tell everybody where the shot was coming from, although there were already people inside the hotel that knew where the shots were coming from, evidently. In fact, there was hotel security personnel that was shot by this guy, as well as having a couple of cops in the building investigating something else. Maybe they were investigating the gunman or the hotel security officer being shot, although that was... I don't know. There's just so much that we're not being told that they're purposely hiding from us. And now this is in other instances, in stuff similar to this case, not necessarily a mass shooting, but stuff similar to this, they've given us a lot more details. This is a strange case where they're not giving us details, obvious details. I mean, we would have, if this were another type of case where it wasn't 58 people murdered, we've already seen the video footage of this guy. The video footage in the hotel would have already been on Entertainment Tonight, and what's the other program? Inside Edition. It would have already been out there. But we don't have it. And I'm still wondering why. Questions lead to more questions. But as some TV cop once said, with the right questions, you can find out anything. So I'm going to keep asking the questions until I find the right questions to get the right answers.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
Now, I know I'm not supposed to ask these kinds of questions and expect real answers. But I don't know why the press isn't asking these questions. Why our media is why isn't the media asking for where are the videotapes? Security video. How come we don't? You can't tell me that I am sure that in Vegas on every now maybe the Mandalay Bay I'm wrong, but I'm sure that there are plenty of cameras in the lobby area that would capture this guy. It would have captured images of this guy bringing in bags. Yeah, even if it was 1 bag a day, you can smuggle in 2 dozen guns and ammo from the 25th over a 5-6 day period. You could bring that stuff in a bag a day. Nobody else would at first glance would even think anything of. It's a hotel guest with a bag. Oh, especially in Vegas. He could have went shopping. Vegas is a huge shopping mecca. Hotel guest with a bag. Oh, hotel, and maybe even some of the bags, a couple of the bags, maybe they were golf club. It was a golf club bag. Oh, hotel guest in Vegas with golf clubs. Whoa, there's now people are going to say, well, why didn't they figure it out? Why didn't they know? Well, yeah. Over a few days, you can hotel people with guests with bags. Oh, hotel guests with a do not disturb notice on their door. The sign. Well, they didn't write it down and make up the sign. The sign is already, every hotel room has got one. You stick it outside if you don't want to be disturbed. Yeah, where are the videotapes of the hallway? The lobby. Don't see any of that stuff.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio is right here on this program. Yes, indeed. Here we are on Hump Day, Wednesday, October number 11th in the year of our Lord 2017. As we continue on this morning with the paper pile and seriously considering doing my own 4th hour. I may have to try to. Well, maybe I'll save this for 4th hour for video. People have been. I just was going to start doing and start uploading video shorts. Video commentary, like a Freedom Report or something like that. But people pressing me, well, you should do like a, at least a 45 minute to an hour long show on video, Rod. You should do, YouTube and Periscope and not what's the, isn't Periscope the Twitter tied one? Like, no, that's too much. Maybe I'll have to do that like once a month or something, do a 4th hour, but it'll be video. I can't do it on a daily basis. It's a lot of work. You know how much work? People don't understand how much work goes into actually doing a 3-hour radio program. Now, I used to do another 2 hours per week on another radio program called the Right Group, and that was it was more work, and I already don't have enough time. And then to have to be prepared to, because you can't do the same thing on TV that you do, video wise that you do on radio. So that means I'd have to, well, take a look at the, it's specialized stuff. Well, I don't do, I suppose if you have a staff, it's easier to do it. I have to do it all, a couple of part-timers, and I gotta, the website is usually me handling everything on the web. I do have a webmaster that handles all the back end stuff, but everything else is usually me. And it's a lot of work to putting in video stuff. Really is, because video needs editing, and it's got to have all this other stuff to it, and it's got to be visual. I just don't see how. This is why I don't do video here, because I don't. How interesting is it? I don't subscribe to things like Rush 24/7 because I don't see. Well, I mean they're starting to play to the cameras more, like Rush is. At least he says he is, and Hannity and stuff, but. I don't see the interest in paying extra money to look at somebody talk on the radio. Watch. I mean, it's not that exciting. If you add other stuff to it, then sure. But these people have full-time staffs, which people like Howie, because it's kind of like, well, if you want to know how boring it is just to watch, if you want to do it for free. How boring it is to watch somebody talk on the radio. Not saying that the radio show is boring, but how boring it is to watch video of them talking on the radio. You can watch it at like 3 to 7 p.m. weekdays, 3 to 7 p.m. You can watch Howie Carr on YouTube. He does a live stream on YouTube between 3 and 7. His entire show. It's boring as hell. He doesn't really play to the cameras. He doesn't play to video at all. I mean, he rarely points up stuff on the camera so people could see it. He's all radio. But they got a camera there. They got a couple of cameras in the studio, his studio, and they stream it live. I get it. But it's boring to watch. So that's why I don't do that. Because it's boring to watch. Plus, it means, more stuff that I'd have to do here in the Bunker Eye studio that I'm just not prepared to do yet. But we're working on stuff for y'all to satisfy y'all's visual needs. But an everyday occurrence of video, unless I get a full-time staff here, just not going to happen. Sorry. Any case, but I do appreciate people contact. By the way, if you want to contact me as well, of course, there's the email address, which is therodecklesshow@gmail.com. That's the Rod Eccles Show. Spell it all out @gmail.com. Plus, there's you can hit me up on at the Rod Eccles Show on Facebook. That's the page. And on everywhere else in social media, that would be Twitter, LinkedIn, Gab.ai, MeWe.com. Did I miss anything? Pinterest.com. It's all Rod Eccles. So I'm easy to find, unfortunately. Maybe I should make myself harder to find. But many of you are utilizing the email, which is good. And, of course, you can direct message on Facebook and Twitter as well, but many of you are using the email account. I guess maybe because people don't believe that it exists, but it does exist. So thank you for utilizing that. But that's the answer to some of your questions about, well, am I going to come into the 21st century and do video? Well, first of all, it's not. It's more than what you think it is, and it takes more time than what people who aren't involved in this stuff. It takes more work than you realize. For instance, doing the Intel report once a week. You know how much research goes into that on Agent 0010's part? It could be hours and hours just for a 20 or 40 minute segment. It's a lot of work. And doing this program for 3 hours a day. I mean, some people think, well, all you got to do is just jump online and just pull up Drudge, Drudge Report, Rod. That'll get you. No, it doesn't get the whole show. Sorry, but it doesn't. Now, 3 hours takes just to get a mediocre show. For 3 hours on the air, it takes at least 3 hours prep time. So that's 6 hours right there. Oftentimes more than that. I mean, I'm usually, I'm up at 6:30 in the morning and here in front of this computer by 7 every morning. And I'm usually in front of this computer again late at night, 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m. sometimes, just for this show. So there's a lot of work that goes into this to bring you this type of quality and this type of information. I just don't wing it. I wish I was good enough to just wing it on a daily basis, but I'm not. So I got to work at it. Take some work. Just saying. Any case, speaking of working, but I do appreciate, if you contacting, asking about stuff like that. I'm working on stuff like that. So we'll get there eventually, folks. Just be patient. But I don't see in the near future broadcasting 3 hours daily video of the show. That would just be boring. If I had a green screen behind me and I had another person who could work the green screen while I was, that might be that might be fun. You know anybody who can operate that? Can it put all sorts of? Can you imagine if if I had a green screen behind me? It'd be like the Alex Jones set. Yeah. Should I do an Alex? Well, even he doesn't do 3 hours. But should I do like an Alex Jones type of program? I could have a green screen behind me, so whenever I have if I go nuclear, we could have nuclear explosion going off on the green screen behind me. That would be pretty cool. That would be visually effective. It would. It would. Speaking of visually effective, can somebody tell me what is this whole big thing? Why is there this huge thing about Harvey Weinstein? Look, I understand the dynamics of it. Here he's a guy that powerful guy. He wanted women to do things for him, and sexual anybody else who wasn't in such a powerful position. I don't care what their politics are. They would have been outed and possibly fired and all that kind of stuff. I don't get the optics of this whole scenario with Weinstein. Now, I haven't seen pictures of him back in the day when he was in his 20s or 30s. But currently, he's not a pretty man. He's not a pretty man at all. But I don't get it. Why do people put up with this stuff? With that said, we have all these people that are now coming out again. Now all of a sudden they're coming out against Harvey Weinstein. And we have a couple of some of the big stars out there, like Gwyneth Paltrow and Angelina Jolie, and others say that Weinstein harassed them. Now, why would it be Jolie? Jolie had a powerful dad. Well, I guess the pair of them have been on again, off again, talking to each other. They've been estranged and not estranged, and estranged and not estranged, with interesting dynamic there. Probably because her dad is a conservative, staunch conservative, and she's just a blithering, idiotic liberal. I'm sure they probably had numerous conversations about that. But Gwyneth Paltrow says she was only 22 years old when she got the role that would take her from actress to star. But Harvey Weinstein was the producer that hired her for the lead in the Jane Austen adaptation of Emma. Before shooting began, she says, he summoned her to his suite in the Peninsula Beverly Hills Hotel for a work meeting that began uneventfully. It ended with Mr. Weinstein placing his hands on her and suggesting that they head to the bedroom for massages. I was a kid. I was signed up. I was petrified. She said in an interview, publicly disclosing that she was sexually harassed by the man who ignited her career and later helped her win an Academy Award. Rosanna Arquette, star of Pulp Fiction, has announced a similar account of Mr. Weinstein's behavior. So does Judith Godrèche, Godreche, leading French actress. So does Angelina Jolie, who said that during the release of Playing by Heart in the late 1990s, he made unwanted advances on her in a hotel room, which she rejected. So this has been we already know this has been going on for decades, so some 30 plus years now. Angelina Jolie said, I had a bad experience with Harvey Weinstein in my youth, and as a result chose to never work with him again. And she says she warns others when they did. Miss Jolie said in an email, this behavior towards women in any field in any country is unacceptable, but yet none of them had come forward. But a lot of them said, well, we didn't know about this behavior. Well, you're talking about big stars who have, friends with other big stars, and these other big stars that weren't directly hit on by Harvey Weinstein didn't know because the big stars that did get hit on didn't say anything? We've got two Hollywoods out there. I mean, this is... I'm sorry, this is Roman Polanski. And the only reason why you have all these people coming out against Harvey now is because Harvey's still in the United States. He didn't flee the country. He's not being charged with anything, at least not yet. And he didn't flee the country, and he's not living, in absentia overseas. Just wait a few years, however. When all this attention blows over, and people in Hollywood have time to reassess and rethink their position, I guarantee you, most of them will be like Whoopi Goldberg with Roman Polanski. They'll say, well, that was really nothing. Nobody ever got hurt, and it was no big deal. Trust I think this is all temporary. This anti-Harvey Weinstein sentiment is temporary.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
This whole thing with again, I don't understand the Harvey Weinstein, the full impact of, other than to say that it's, it's typical. There are two standards. There are the standard for, now if Harvey Weinstein were a conservative, a full-fledged out and out conservative, he would have been busted long ago. He would have been drummed out long ago. Especially if he was making the putting the moves on young actresses like Angelina Jolie and Gwyneth Paltrow. Look, I know it was before they were stars and before they had any real power. But again, Angelina Jolie had, she's got family. All she would have to do is just go, Daddy. I mean, how many Rosanna Arquette? It's, family members are powerful and famous, and to get away with that and nothing. So he's Harvey Weinstein is said to be flying to Europe now for sex addiction rehab. So now we're supposed to believe that the reason why he was doing this over the past 30 years is because he was addicted to sex. He had a sex addiction. Didn't we get this from another, Wiener? Didn't we get this from Wiener? Didn't he have a sex addiction too? That's a joke. There's no such thing as sex addiction. I mean, everything's an addiction now. It's ridiculous. So this is his reasoning for his aggressive behavior is because he was addicted to sex. Well, how was he going to be that? Well... Anthony Weiner was not a looker either. Well, notice how these people that are being caught with this, doing this stuff, how most of them are not lookers. I mean, they're not by any stretch of the imagination. I don't care who you are. You're not going to find. You're probably not going to find Anthony Weiner to be a handsome man, and you're probably not going to find Harvey Weinstein to be a handsome man either. I don't care who you are. It's just not going to happen. So why is it that it's these guys that are not? I mean, they get power, they get a little bit of power, they get a little drunk with their power, and they think they can pull this stuff off. Especially if they're liberals, and they know that. Well, hey, I'm a liberal. I can get away with this stuff. I can be a hypocrite. And that's what they are. They're out there screaming, talking about other people doing this kind of stuff, and they're just being flaming hypocrites. The other hypocrites out there, Clinton and the Obamas. So Clinton again, after a delay, is out there ripping Weinstein now. I mean, I think I mentioned this yesterday. The only person, and again, he's kind of hypocritical. The reason why he waited is because Weinstein is a big Democratic donor. That's why he didn't say anything at first. That's why he didn't come out. But Clinton, on the other hand, are you kidding me? She's married to a Harvey Weinstein. I should say, Harvey Weinstein is, Harvey was doing this before Bill Clinton was Bill Clinton doing this. So you could say that Bill Clinton pulled a Harvey. She was married to a Harvey. She still is married to a Harvey Weinstein. And she's going to come out against Harvey Weinstein? Oh, please. Woman, yeah. We're not taking this stuff from you. Not to mention, you waited and waited. Well, I guess you had to see, where all the flack was going to come down, right? Where all this stuff was going to land, right? Unbelievable stuff here, folks. You wouldn't believe the number of people that are now coming out against. I mean, even evidently Brad Pitt threatened Harvey Weinstein. I don't have any cooperation with that except to this very poor site. I wouldn't trust it, but evidently that's what they're reporting. Brad Pitt at one point threatened Harvey Weinstein. Now, I don't know if he really did or didn't, but that would be funny to see or hear.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with a debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Weinstein is off to Europe to get treatment for his sex addiction. In the meantime, we will stay here, and well, there will probably be more people coming to the forefront saying that Weinstein has done things to them. In the meantime, the Weinstein Company is going to change its name, and they're stripping Weinstein of all the credits of everything that he's ever done. Now, that's first of all, that's wrong. If he is responsible for his particular TV show or movie, no matter who he is, he should keep the credit because he's responsible for it. You can't. Isn't that just like good liberals trying to whitewash history of stuff? Oh, we're just gonna very ancient Egyptian-esque of these people. We're just gonna try to wipe his memory. He didn't exist at this. In fact, we're gonna for everything that he's been an executive producer or producer on or writer or what have you, everything that his name is on, we're just gonna take his name off of it. As a matter of fact, we're even gonna change our company name from the Weinstein Company, to something else. So we're just gonna remove his name from everything, from history. You'll never hear him again. How very fascist of you to protect us from Harvey Weinstein when you've already let him, he's already been on the loose and the damage has already been done. No, not saying that he should be let alone so he can continue doing damage, but the damage has already been done. And you think you're going to, I guess that's punishing him by taking his name, stripping his name from everything, all the credits that he's ever done. Yeah, that's because, after all, this is all about Harvey, right? It's all surrounding Harvey. Yeah, you can't take my name off everything. It's just going to kill me to take my name off of everything. Oh, please, give me a break. Just ridiculous. Only liberals would think of this. We're gonna take your name off of everything, and we're gonna change the name of your company. Nah. What are you gonna do about it? Well, he'll probably end up suing you. That's what. Just saying. After he gets back from his vacation, his stay at an addiction, sex addiction. Do they really have those? Sex addiction. There have been a number of stars and politicos that have gone into rehab for sexual addiction. I should open up one. There seems to be a lot of demand for sexual addiction, getaways. How do they all get saltpeter while they're there? What they used to give sailors to cut down on their sexual drive. How else do you cure somebody or treat somebody for a sexual addiction? You can never be cured. Well, what do we have for in an addictive case? What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to never take that addictive substance again, right? So if you're an alcoholic You can never take another drink because you obviously cannot control your consumption of alcohol. So you can't have another drink. If you're a drug addict, you can't have another, you can't take any kind of, addictive type of drug. Even if you go into a hospital and you could tell no doctor, I'm a recovering drug addict. I can't have opioids or anything like that. So you have to deal with the pain. If you're a gambling addict, you can't ever gamble. You can't even play the lottery ever again. Right? So you have to avoid all the stuff that you're addicted to. Well, I've never seen anybody, become celibate from a sexual addiction. You ever notice that? Never. I would think that if you have a sexual addiction, the best thing that you could do would either become a monk or a Catholic priest. Just become celibate. Well, you can't do that. Well, you don't have to do that, I guess, if for sexual. Every other addiction, you have to abstain from the item that you're addicted to. But when it comes to sex, this is why I don't think there's any such thing as a sex addiction. Because if there is, then all these other addictions are being mistreated. In other words, an alcoholic should be able to be taught how to control his alcohol consumption. Thus, he should be able to, at some point in his life, be able to imbibe in an adult beverage. But no, we're told that they can never do that because they're never cured. So you can be cured of a sex addiction, but you can't be cured of an alcohol addiction. Yeah, go figure that one out. Well, it's just logical. The NFL. By the way, have you seen this? Wall Street Journal has this story. California's breakup with the NFL. The NFL out in California is in trouble. The Chargers, they're playing in a small, paltry, teeny 27,000 seat stadium, and they can't fill it. They can't fill it. The same goes for the LA Rams and the San Fran 49ers are not playing in tiny stadiums like that, but they also can't fill their seats. And in fact, the NFL all over the place is having trouble. They're having trouble filling the seats. So you have, and one of the reasons is, well, the only reason is simply because of all this protesting, this so-called protesting, which is kneeling during the national anthem. And it's not a protest, it's a direct slap in the face of Americans, and it's disrespectful. It's like the NFL doesn't NASCAR, for instance. NASCAR knows who their fans are. They know that their fans are very patriotic. They know that their fans are very pro-America and pro-American. NFL doesn't seem to know that. At least they didn't. Now they may. They may know it now. In fact, Roger Goodell is now issued a statement which is contradictory to what he has said before about standing for the anthem. But the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell yesterday wrote a letter to all 32 league owners regarding the protests that have taken place during the national anthem. In the letter, which ESPN reporter Adam Schefter shared on his Facebook page, he wrote in the letter, Goodell wrote that the current dispute over the national anthem is threatening to erode the unifying power of our game and is now dividing us. And our players from many fans across the country. Well, we're not the ones that are doing the dividing, the fans here. The players decided that they were going to slap the fans in the face. By the way, is it racist for a white fan to have a favored black football player? Well, I mean, would it also be racist if the white fan sent the black football player a watermelon? I don't know. But just saying. So later this week, the league owners and Goodell are going to take up this whole issue over the anthem. Should the players say, "Look, we've told you, The NFL is losing fans, viewership, and attendance everywhere. It's all down. The numbers are down. Look, I've turned off the NFL. I haven't watched a single NFL game. Rush Limbaugh has turned off the NFL. He claims he hasn't watched a full NFL game all season so far. I'm not. You've got people who are burning jerseys of players of their favorite, their favorite players of the favorite teams. I don't know how the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing. I don't even bother looking at the stats or the or highlights. I don't bother. I have not bothered this year. I don't know how they're doing. I don't know what the record of the Patriots. I guess I've avoided the NFL so much that even in Patriot Nation here, I don't know how bad or how well Brady and the Patriots are doing this year. What are they? I don't know. I think they did lose their opening game. So what are they? 4-1 now. We're in week 5, right? If calculations and counting the calendar is correct, we're in week 5. So what are they? 4-1. Are they still a juggernaut team that they've been the past decade? I don't know. Are the Steelers doing well? Are they going to be contenders? I don't know. And there are a lot of people like me who've just decided, you know what? These people are they're disenfranchising their fan base. And this is one thing that Goodell has now finally been paying attention to. The Monday Night Football numbers, way down. Thursday Night Football numbers, way down. Sunday numbers, way down. Paraphernalia, buying the jerseys and the hats and everything, the sales have plummeted. Season ticket holders are not showing up. Regular game-by-game tickets sales for most teams are way down. You've got empty seats. You've got NBC and ESPN who refuse to show some of the upper levels or upper tiers of some stadiums. Why? Probably because they're empty. They're losing lots and lots of money. They're on the verge of having to refund some of their sponsorship money because the numbers are no longer there. Goodell sees this. The owners see this. So now he's saying, well, maybe, the players need to stand. Well, you think? But it's a little too late now. We all know that it's just going to be a hypocritical type of monument. So if it was just a one-off thing, fans probably would have said, okay, they got it out. But they keep doing it. They keep kneeling. They keep sitting. They keep saying, well, it's all right. It's all right. We have the NAACP is out there saying that Jerry Jones' anthem comments are tone deaf because Jerry Jones says whoever doesn't stand for the anthem now, I don't care who you are, you're going to be fired. And the NAACP says that Jerry Jones' anthem comments are tone deaf and violates the Cowboys' constitutional rights. Understand this. I can't believe, I don't hear the NAACP screaming about people's constitutional rights for being felt up at an airport. I mean, we're getting mad at Jerry Jones for trying to come on to women, but this is happening on a daily basis at a freaking airport. Nobody's saying anything about it. But hey, if the Cowboys want to sit, a Cowboys player wants to sit down and he's told he can't, well, that's violating his constitutional rights. Well, you know what? You're working for somebody else, and while you're under their employ on wearing their uniform on their property, no, you don't have a constitutional right not to do that. To do what you're told to do. As an employee, while you're on the clock, and while you're on the clock for a football player is on the field on game day. You're on the clock. And your employer says you stand, then you stand. If you can't stand, then you quit. You're an employee. I don't care. It's still, maybe sports, but you're still an employee. You don't own the team. You're not the owner. You're an employee. You're being paid by somebody else. You have, as long as it's not illegal or immoral, and it's not immoral to tell you to stand up for the national anthem. You don't have a right to sit down or kneel. Sorry, you don't. Or if you do that, you suffer the consequences. Get fired. But hey, the NAACP says it's violating the Cowboys' rights for Jerry Jones to tell them that they're going to be fired if they kneel. Well, how about this one then? I don't see the NAACP calling this unconstitutional. Call for athletes to be fitted with microchips and fight against drug cheating. Oh yeah. Well, not necessarily football, but Chief Executive of World Olympians Association, it says makes an implant suggestion. So we're prepared to put chip implants in our pets. Why aren't we also prepared to put chips in our implant chips in ourselves? So there's the call for every person, but at least elite athletes, to be implanted with a chip if they want to participate. Don't hear the NAACP railing against that. It's supposed to, having an implant is supposed to protect against illegal doping and drugging. And how about this story? A freshman QB is dismissed from his team after kneeling during the anthem. Yes, Reading, Pennsylvania football player at Division III Albright College in Reading, PA, has been dismissed from the team after taking a knee during the national anthem on Saturday. No calls for his constitutional rights being violated. He's not even an employee because, college players don't get paid. At least they're not supposed to. Or, we're finding out in college basketball that might be a different story. But, they're not supposed to be paid. So before the game against Del Val, the Albright Lions decided as a team to both take a knee during the coin toss and to stand during the Star-Spangled Banner as a sign of unity, which was dumb. One player, 19-year-old Gyree, G-Y-R-E-E, Durante, went down on one knee during the national anthem, according to school officials. The freshman quarterback didn't tell anyone his plans to kneel. In a statement, the school says Durante was dismissed for his decision to not support team unity. A 24-player leadership council came up with the pregame routine as a way to find common ground and mutual respect on a team with so many differing opinions. But he got this. He was kicked off the team. No NAACP outcry on that one.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
So here's a story about the GOP and the Democratic parties. First, the GOP is in a little bit of trouble with McConnell at the helm. Angry GOP donors are closing their wallets to the GOP. There's one in particular, one big donor contributor says that I'm sick and tired of nothing happening. Basing it on the party's legislative failures. Again, I brought you the story last week, but there's been some turning up of the heat over the weekend past weekend with Bannon, basically declaring war on the GOP. Calling them out, saying, look, because this whole Corker Trump dispute and people are saying, well, now is tax relief in doubt because Trump is taking on Corker. No, it better not be in doubt because it has nothing to do with Trump. Corker and Trump can dislike each other all they want to. But as far as the agenda of giving people tax relief, that has everything to do with the American people, and it has nothing to do with Corker and Trump in their little dispute between themselves. It's not about them. It's about us. When are these politicians going to get that? It's not about them. It is about us. But tensions are reaching a boiling point, between the donor class of the Republican Party even and the Republican Party right now. And a lot of these people, a lot of these donors are cutting off their funds to the blue blood GOP. We're not talking about the real conservatives, in the GOP, like Rand Paul and Ted Cruz out of Texas. But these blue bloods, people are getting sick and tired of Trump's agenda, not because it's a good agenda, regardless of who thought it up. Trump's agenda, many aspects of it are good for Americans. They're good for the country, and they're good for the GOP blue bloods who might like this kind of stuff as well, especially the tax cut thing. The other thing is on the Democratic side, is that there seems to be a Democratic civil war. And Dianne Feinstein is now experiencing some of that. California Senator Dianne Feinstein announced that she would run for yet another term in the upper chamber of Congress. There are at least some in her party who were surprised. Now, Feinstein is 84. She isn't the oldest person ever to serve in the Senate. That was Strom Thurmond. But she would be 92 at the conclusion of her next term. It's a little bit old. Thought she was going to retire. There are some that are in the Democratic Party that are showing no respect for Feinstein or other elders, so-called elders in the Democratic Party. And of course, they're not going to be shown this way because Feinstein has actually admitted more than a few times that there is no evidence of Russian-Trump collusion. There's other stuff that's missing that isn't true when it comes to what Democrats have been saying about Republicans and certain laws and it would even on the gun issue. Hey, Dianne, anything on the books now or in your arsenal that you know of that would have prevented the mass shooting? No, she said. She admitted. No, there's nothing. We have nothing. That's not playing over well with the liberal base. So there could be civil war in both parties. Watch out for that. We'll keep an eye on that. But we're out of time for today, but we will be back here. We won't be here tomorrow. Sorry, we will not be here tomorrow live. It's going to be a best of show. I have some very important legal matters to attend to. But until then, I'll tell you about it on Friday, Open Mic Friday. Have a great afternoon, everybody. See ya Friday. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.